Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the E.N.G. Media Podcast. We have a very exciting guest, Harry with Factana. For those of you just joining the podcast, I'm Christian Gannon, the co-founder of E.N.G. Media, and we specialize in helping software and tech companies scale their revenue. So if you want to learn how to take your software tech business to the next level, make sure to stick around. So let's get right into it. So I understand that Factana is a pioneering industrial software company driving the digital transformation of manufacturing through intelligent technologies. At the heart of your innovation is the FogWing Industrial Cloud, a powerful platform that integrates industrial IoT, AI, and edge computing to streamline asset operations and enable smart manufacturing at scale. Your mission to democratize Industry 4.0 is helping manufacturers worldwide adopt digital tools faster and more effectively. Can you share a little bit more about your business and your role you play within it?
So Factana is very focused towards digitalizing the manufacturing operations. We started, of course, the IoT and AI is the foundation for us to, drive this digital transformation. But we started, with the pain point of, the technology availability, like, advance of AI and IoT, how these deep technologies could be available to the mid-sized market. Of course, enterprises have large funding and IT infrastructure to adopt any newer technologies. So we would like to help the mid-market to adapt these advanced technology with the lower possible complexity, as well as time to retain it, and the lower investment as well. So this is where Factana comes into picture, where we comes with product solutions that fit for the mid-sized manufacturers to quickly adopt the technology without any bigger upfront investment, capex investment, and things like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so on that topic, within the manufacturing space, what are kind of some of the current trends you're kind of seeing in the manufacturing and the industrial tech space right now? Is there anything going on that, like you said, you're helping them adjust quickly, that are really helping them right now?
So the manufacturing is traditionally a very complex process, right? So
Hmm.
and it varies from company to company, the product to product. That there are discrete manufacturers, process manufacturers, and the process flow itself varies, and the machineries are varies. So it's a very complex environment where technology adoption is a big challenge for them because
Hmm.
of the legacy machineries, as well as the complexity of how they connect to that. So the fundamental thing that changed 5 years back was the IoT. IoT brought up a big change in the manufacturing space by connecting to the existing machineries, which help of advanced sensors and
Hmm.
deriving the data out of that. But the recent trend on the generative AI and AI that has changed the world, toppled the world for completely, even including the manufacturing, because now the data is playing a major role in the manufacturing decision operations, and that could be easily accessible, available to them through Copilot and other solutions. But the foundation is that the IoT. So without the IoT foundation, the data may not even reach the AI. So the industry is moving, instead of focusing more into IoT data, the industry now moving towards how to leverage the AI to take better decisions in the operational processes, at the same time using the IoT as the backbone for that. So it's
Gotcha.
kind of a two big technology that could change the whole manufacturing operations to the level or that they can easily take a decision faster. Traditionally, it was like long process. They have to manually collect all the data. They have to put together in the data repository. Somebody has to create a reports, submit to the top management. But today, with the help of Copilot or industrial AI, generative AI solutions, they can quickly access it and then just query the data, and then they could get the more insights. Not only insights, but also more intelligence from it by applying, the non-conventional queries and things like that.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. And so there's almost two sides of it, just to reiterate. There's almost the IoT side and then the data side. And it's this transformation and direction that it's headed is trying to go to merge those things together so that they can leverage that data to make smarter decisions faster and more efficiently, correct?
Correct, correct. So
Awesome.
the traditional dashboard, applications are gone now. The dashboard, building a dashboard and providing reports in the dashboard
Mhm.
where executives goes and searching in the dashboard is gone today. The today, it's more like a chat GPT kind of experience. I go and I just ask a
Uh,
simple statement. I get the response quickly, and the data is available in the system. So I could ask any questions, any predictions, any ideas, that could I get a suggestion from the AI compared to traditionally, how to go to log into the application, see the dashboard, and then query the data. And if you're more technical, then you could query the day more data. If you're not that much technical, then you may not be able to do that. So that days are gone. The new era is
Okay.
different completely.
And it's just completely streamlined, is what it sounds like from what you're telling me. And that if
Yeah,
you maybe weren't technologically advanced before, now it's easier to input data, update data, and then also read the data. And either like if you weren't technologically advanced, right, mentally or not familiar, you could still get the same information that someone that might have been, which is a huge piece of information. No.
correct.
Awesome. Awesome. And in this landscape that we're talking about right now, what is it? Is it making it more challenging, easier to operate, or maybe somewhere in between? Maybe there's new challenges that have arisen from the technology that's being implemented, or on the flip side, is it just easy breezy now kind of thing? Could you
No,
explain a little
it's
bit?
it's not easy. It's not easy. It's
Of
always
course.
challenging one. But now this the new AI technologies helping little better to consolidate the data and presenting it. So the data consumption layer has been simplified with help of Gen AI. But
Hmm.
the accumulation layer where the technology bring the data from the machines to the floor, right? So that's still a
Right.
complex process, and so it's kind of a middle right now.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's almost in a transition phase. You understand
Yes,
one
correct,
side and the other, but now it's just the integration piece of making sure both are working together, correct?
correct, correct.
Awesome, awesome. And kind of diving a little deeper into that, with in your opinion, right now, what does the kind of current competitive landscape look like for you guys specifically at Factana?
Oh, fantastic. So there are really great companies are there out there helping on manufacturers in this space. I don't call them as a competitors because we are living in the co-ecosystems. We all help them to move towards that. So always, manufacturing is kind of, complex process where there are many different things are involved on that, right? So not a
Hmm.
one company can completely change the global manufacturing space. Everybody has to co-work, coexist to build that. Some of them may be specialized in maintenance operations. Some of them specialist in IoT space. Some of them specialist in Gen AI space or intelligence, manufacturing intelligence. If we all work together, that's where the full transformation is happening. So we all driving
Oh,
traditional manufacturing to the digital manufacturing, and there are a lot more education is required to do this transformation, and that is where we all work together. We have a great companies that we don't treat them as a competitor. We like treat them as a partner, even though we are working separately, but we are pushing the manufacturing space to the digital space.
gotcha. Okay. So it's almost like you guys are all kind of little partners in this big scope that you're talking about, correct?
Correct,
And if you don't
correct.
work together, you're going to be on your own island, not
Yeah,
helping any of the sides, right? That's
yeah.
awesome. That's like a
That's
super.
not only us, for even our manufacturers. Think about that. As a manufacturer, if I have to
Mhm.
talk to five different companies and five different companies providing five different technologies, and how can I consume all of that together, right? So I like
Right,
to
right.
go with where I can coexist with all the systems that they partner together and they work and drive me. That's make my life easier, right? So this is
Hmm.
where the partner ecosystem is very important. Then individually everybody trying to push together, because we may solve one problem, may not solve the overall digital problem that manufacturers are facing today.
Gotcha. So it's almost like if you don't take this partnership approach, then you're just going to confuse the manufacturer and maybe scare them out of that sale or understanding the importance of the technology that you're offering, correct?
Correct, correct.
Awesome, awesome. And kind of on that side, on the marketing and sales side, we specialize in marketing at E.N.G Media. And from your standpoint, we would like to know how easy is it to attract and retain high quality marketing and sales team members, kind of given the current demand for skilled professionals in the manufacturing tech space?
So the manufacturing space, see, it's a we need to divide that in the regional level skill set. Okay, so
Hmm.
we work with the APAC customers as well as in North America, right? So we see a completely different culture of adaptation. We are more focused towards the shop floor level business, operational teams. If you look at in the shop floor team, they are not a tech savvies. They are not like always in the internet. They go to the internet only when they need information, right? So they are more
Hmm.
physically operational people. They run big end missions. They work on the operational floors, shop floors and things like that. So digital marketing is very challenging to reach them out, to to say that promote it until they are looking for some kind of a problem. They are coming to the internet and then searching it. So
Right.
but at the same time, education is very very important for them to prepare them to adapt the new technology, understand this new, because they are not tech savvy, right? So they may not
Right.
quickly
Right.
adapt what is Gen AI means. If you go and say, oh, you should take Gen AI means, they don't know what is Gen AI means until we talk
Mhm.
about them in their language of or the manufacturing metrics and key things. So there is a big challenge in the marketing standpoint. However, the industry is changing. So based on the region, the marketing strategy will different. For APAC region, we have a different strategy than the North America region. North America regions, we have a more digital marketing, digital promotions. APAC
Mhm.
region more physical approach people and then making cold calls and things like that. That approach is working. So based on the region, we need to pick and choose their right marketing strategy. It's not like a one strategy that fit
Mhm.
for the global market. If you are focusing on the global market, because we more focus towards the global market, so we look at every region, what is the mindset of the the target contacts, and then how we should reach them out.
That's awesome. And I think that's very important that you've identified that, right? Especially early on, that in other countries, it's really hard compared to in North America or even Latin America to really communicate with the people that you need to talk to, right?
Yeah,
So thank you
exactly.
for sharing. That gives a lot of insight, not only to me, but I think to the viewers as well.
Yeah.
And shifting a little bit, could you tell me what you're responsible for directly within Factana and how your day kind of typically unfolds?
So my responsibility has changed over the period. So initially, I was more focused towards technology development, product development, more core first towards interact with the customers to get the feedback from the customers and incorporating that in the product. So that was my focus before as architect and product architect to define the product in the stage. But recently, I have moved more into sales and marketing. So I drive more sales and marketing today. So my days are more into sales and marketing nowadays. Even though I have a technology background, product engineering background, but still, I have handed over to somebody else to manage the product side of that because the product has reached a maturity. So now my role is more into sales and marketing focused.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And moving on to our next question on that topic, what are some of the most important metrics for you right now? Is it revenue growth, profit margins, cash flow, client retention, or something maybe completely different?
So I think very right now we are still a startup company, right? So we don't
Mhm.
look at the profit margin immediately, even though that's one of the key point for us to look at. But we don't look at that immediately. Right now, the more important thing for us is cost of customer acquisition,
Okay.
because how much we spend on to reach the customer, how much we generate the revenue, that cost we need to balance it, and that's where the tricky part is coming into picture, because the how much you should not overburn it, you should not underburn that, right? So you
Right,
need to
right.
balance it. So the first key metrics that we are looking at is the cost of customer acquisition. The second most thing is relevant to the marketing expenses, how much we are spending and how we are generating it. Customer retention is much less priority for us, because most of the customers, most of the customers are this a technology where hardware and software involved, and then most of the customers, once they started adapting it, this is a long customer journey with us. So mostly they don't change that. Like a software marketing tools mean I can use one tool today, cancel it, go to another tool. In our
Mhm.
business, it's not that much easy to for manufacturers to switch to tool to tool. So the customer retention is good to have metrics, but it's not on the top of your list. So our first priority is customer acquisition cost.
Of course, of course. And going back to, I want to touch on the customer acquisition costs and the marketing. What kind of tools are you using? Are you using AI tools in marketing? I know that's a big thing and a big trend, and at least in the space that I'm seeing. Or is it more on the side of lead gen companies and kind of on that sort, if that makes
No,
sense?
we are more in-house team that generates a lead for us. So we have not worked with any lead gen team so far. Even though we
Gotcha.
are
Okay.
interested to hear from them, but we are more in-house team that drives the lead generation for us. Our lead generation model is more inbound generations than the outbound. So
Okay.
we have a different tools to run it. So we have a marketing campaign tools, AI based marketing campaigns tools that we are using. We have a content team that works on based on the AI tools, and publishing team that works on based on AI tools. So I think 2 3 years back we were more manual on all the operations in terms of content
Mhm.
creation, promotions, everything. We were manually doing it. Now we switched last 2 years. We have been started changing into AI based tools. and that works much better. But there is a risk as well. We cannot just overrun that. So we have a campaign tool, sales campaign tool, that's email campaign tool that generates a content, and based on user interactions, it's change the content, and then presenting it to the different target audience. We have a marketing, from the ads standpoint. We have an organic SEO, traction standpoint. So we create all different aspect channels to multi-channel approach, so that we feed the funnel to narrow down to the lead, and we move the prospect from the awareness to all the way to the interest to purchase.
Of
So
course.
that's a process that we go through.
Definitely, definitely. And that makes a lot of sense. And I think it's really important. And I hope everyone watching caught that having omni-channel marketing in different spaces, so you have your email, you have your organic SEO, you have content, making that this big circle, right? That everyone can see, and they see your authority in the space, they see your reputability, and especially in the software space. I've talked to a lot of software companies recently, and a lot of them have a great product, but they don't know how to market it, right? They don't know how
Mm,
to find the full circle so that it's like, okay, they're a big player in the space. I understand what they do. And like you said, most people, if the software works great and the tools work great, they're not going to switch to a different tool for no reason, right? So
correct.
getting the client acquisition and keeping those costs low is a huge thing. So thank you for touching on that. Looking ahead, what are the goals for the next 12 months? Maybe for
So
personally for you or for Factana or both?
no, I don't differentiate between that because it both are work together.
Of course, of course.
For an entrepreneur, it's always like that, right? So we don't
Right.
differentiate it. Okay, I'm going for job and then coming back and then looking at that. So we always have that, what we do next, what we do next. Especially today's competition, we have to do a lot more things, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think the whole thing is changing, especially because of the AI. The technology wise, how we were delivering solution to customer, we are switching into new, more AI based approach, especially using Copilot, and then agentic AI solutions. How do we
Mm-hmm.
incorporate this technology to our platform to make it easier for our customers to start using the technology? So we have to transition that. So there is always a focus on the product innovation and development. At the
Mm-hmm.
same time, how do we go and address this problem to the specific customers? Example, we go to, yeah, glass manufacturing, glass bottle manufacturing company. Their problems are slightly different than if you go to the automotive parts manufacturing companies.
Of course.
So there is a problem difference between that in the micro level, right? But so far we have looked at the overall broader level, but we need to go a little more narrow down to the micro level to see the problem and then giving differentiating it. We believe that AI is going to simplify this solution providing. So, but we need to go narrow down into the industry specific, metrics and goals to set up. Example, glass manufacturers may have a different metrics, different ideas to do that, operational excellence versus automotive parts manufacturers. So it's a slightly different. One solution may not fit for all at all scenarios. So we need to go a little more narrow down. So these are the two areas that we are looking at. At the same time, we are scaling up our market space because we are more towards inbound. So we have reached certain regions initially. Now we are expanding our regions to reach other regions as well, so that we can create a 360 view, inquiries, 360 view of inquiries.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think those are very ambitious goals, and I really know that from what we talked so far, those systems are in place to reach those and also handle hopefully the volume that comes from achieving those, right? And
Yeah, correct.
the other part I want to touch on too was the agentic AI is a big thing that's getting talked about. There's a lot of noise in the space. And on the flip side, I've talked to a lot of agentic AI companies, but on the flip side, how hard is it for you to choose for your company which ones you want to use or don't use, or how are they standing out to you, I guess, aside from because there's a ton now, right? So
Oh, there is still a lot more R&D is going on in this area because there are a lot of new frameworks. The frameworks are not yet mature. There are
hmm
scalability, other things we need to consider. We cannot, because there are so much of noise is happening in the media side. So
hmm
because of this noise, we cannot go and pick up one particular framework and one particular
Right.
technology and then go with that. We need to still evaluate and validate different things to look at the scale aspect. Our goal is very simple. Okay, so we cannot put this technology to the our audio customers directly. We have to
hmm
make it simple for them. It's just a query kind of things. They go to the chat gpt kind of a browser, and they
hmm
say that, hey agent, go and create a production planning for me. That should take up the agent should take up the work and then do that backend. The customer need not aware of that what is behind that, but it should be scalable to meet the global need, right? So there is a lot
Of
more
course.
R&D. Still R&D is going on, even though we have address that problem and solve it, but we still need to continuously improvise the systems to make it adaptable or scalable to the global demand in the market.
Right, right. And I'm very excited to see that, not only just in the manufacturing space, but in the other spaces, right? I think we're in a very
Yeah.
early stage of agentic, specifically AI, and it being used. I think a lot of people know about it, but how many people actually use it? I think the number is minute compared to how many could use it and use it efficiently. So I'm really excited in the next couple of years to see it kind of mature and see what that maturity stage kind of looks like, right? I mean, that'll be awesome when a lot more people use it, see the value in it, and the education is kind of rolled out as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think the value is already, clearly we can see the value of that. But only
Hmm.
thing is we need to make sure that no, we are not putting the complexity to the users. We have to
Right.
reduce the complexity from the users. User may not even aware of that they are using agent AI. So they
Right.
just simply,
Right.
placing a command like a Google command, hey, get me this data, right? So no, or do this action, and that action should happen in the backside. So, but as a provider, technology provider, SaaS provider, we have to take that up and then understand this. So the agentic AI, from the SaaS market standpoint, agentic AI is more for the technology provider than the users. The user should not feel like they are using this technology or that technology. That's how the technology should be simplified for them. We should not
Right.
put that overhead to them to think about go and do these actions to trigger the agent. It's not necessary for them, right?
Mm-hmm. 100%. And so my last question, it's kind of a fun one, but it's a little bit of a tough one. If you had a magic wand and could solve just one problem within your business, what would that be?
Marketing.
Marketing?
Yeah, because there again, because AI impact, there's a lot more is changing. From SEO to SDM, and
Hmm.
different things are happening. How do we show ourselves into the AI chat GPT? How our rank our product into the chat GPT? So there is a different things even within marketing. We have to. So if I have magic wand, I want to reach out to the global market, one click, just that, boom, we are visible to everybody. That is a still, $1 million question to us. So how do
Right.
we make it
100%.
work, right? So because as I
Of
said,
course.
marketing, varies from region to region. So one formula is not
Hmm.
working everywhere. So we need to work on multiple formulas to make it, and there is a duration also, right? So certain things will work in certain time only. So we need to
Hmm.
change. So it's an ongoing work. So marketing is more interesting for me.
Of course. Of course. And I definitely could see that with you explaining it as well. But if people want to connect with you or learn more about what Factana is doing, where can they go and how could they connect?
So very simple, they can go to Factana or forming. There is a form is there to fulfill. It need not be like a purchase request. So it can be a simple, understanding the technology and all. And we have channels as well. Our product demonstrations are available in our YouTube channel. There are plenty of demos out there in the YouTube channel
Hmm.
where people
Okay.
can go and look at our channel and follow our channels, and they can see all the product demos, new features. And also, we do a lot more, so they can go to our website and then they can subscribe that, so they get a newsletters, and they get audios, from our, like it advertising, like learning skill audios that we created. And so because we need to educate more into the manufacturing space, so we do a lot more learning center audios that we publish it
Perfect.
in our YouTube channel. They can listen as a podcast like that, and they can, at the same time they want to reach us out, they can fill the form and then reach out to us, and we are happy to answer the technical questions in there.
Perfect, perfect. So I will leave the links to the Factana website as well
Mhm.
as their YouTube channel in the description so you can go check those out. And if you're interested, make sure to book a demo with them. Super interesting stuff. And I'm not even in the industrial or the manufacturing space specifically, but the website was super interesting and it broke it down really in simpler terms for me to understand. And a lot of you I know will enjoy that as well. So,
Sure.
but other than that, thank you again, Harry, for your time and insights today. And we will see you guys on the next podcast.